Man, I have a feeling that I am going to get a little bit fired up today. Not because there's anything wrong, but really because I am just so excited about what we are going to be talking about today. Today, I'm going to be talking about the power that comes when you know how to change your life. And I realize that might sound like a really big promise, and it is. I don't want to make it sound like it's not. It is a big promise, but it is a promise that is absolutely true. I can back it up. I've got some disclaimers I'm going to give you as well. We're going to unpack all of that. And this is going to be an episode that you want to listen to if your life is not the way that you want it to be. And if you know any other women who also feel that same way, you have got to share this episode with them because I can't reach everybody. I can't reach everybody on my own. Everybody who needs to hear, you know what? You have the power to change your life. So share this episode with them in addition to tuning into this episode. Man, it is going to be impactful. Grab something to write with, and then let's jump in.
Well, hey there, I am Jennifer Roskamp, a certified life coach and homeschool mom of 9 who is passionate about helping women just like you embrace the here and now while also being focused on creating the life you actually want. In reality, it's not about thinking life will get so much better or so much easier when you fill in the blank. Let's work on creating a life you love now. So let's dive in and get started on redefining Supermom to be someone who is present, intentional, and content rather than perfect in our homes, in our lives, and in our own skin. Let's get started. This is the Intentional Mom Podcast.
All right. We're going to be talking about how to change your life. Now, before you give me the big eye roll, you need to do these 3 things. All right. Number 1, stay with me. Truly stay with me. I am not blowing smoke here. If you are not happy with the way that your life is, you owe it to yourself to again give me the next 20 minutes or so to show you how this is possible. You can even listen to this podcast on double speed and get this done in less time. My husband calls this chipmunk listening because I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks on double speed. Okay, so that's number 1, is stay with me. Number 2, be open. Truly, discouragement, thinking that things will never change, and feelings of hopelessness, despair, and discontent are what the world wants you to have. I say phooey on all that. I deserve better. You deserve better than that. See what I mean? I'm getting fired up. I can feel it already. Number 3, understand that this is not a quick fix. There is no magic. There is no magic wand here. The things I'm going to be telling you here are things that you're going to spend a lifetime working with. But you know what? You've got a lifetime to live. It works out pretty well. Pretty simple math. It's okay. And actually, I have a couple more things I want to add in here too. You are the only one who can do this. You are the only one who can change your life. I can give you the tools, just like I give my coaching clients the tools and the training. Now, they also get me walking alongside of them, but these tools are the tools I share with people as a life coach every single day. But hear me, no one is going to do it for you. You are the only one who can do this in your life. I like what Mel Robbins says. She says, no one is coming for you. And essentially, what she means is this very thing. You are going to have to be the one to do the work. Now, before you think I'm all gloom and doom, the work you do, if you're able to take what I'm giving you here and run with it, really embrace it, internalize these things, own them, it's worth it. Hard things are always worth it. Growth happens on the other side of hard things. And in reality, what you want is on the other side of hard things. But it starts with you believing it's yours for the taking. Now, if you need more on doing hard things, make sure to listen to the Monday Mantra episode right here on the podcast from May 13, 2024. I believe it's episode 66. It's all about this very thing, doing hard things. All right? So that's what I needed you to do first. Now we're going to dive into the actual content I want to share with you. And get paper. If you have not done that already, get paper. And if you didn't write down these things that I started with, go back and listen again and write these things down because it puts you in the driver's seat rather than in the back seat. Something I talk about all the time. All right, so let's dive in. How do you actually change your life? It starts with number 1, the concept of the fact that your thoughts are creating the results and the outcomes and many of the circumstances in your life. Many of the things that you are experiencing are a result of the thought that comes first. There is a thought. Everything always starts with a thought. The things you do, the actions that you take and don't take, start with a thought first. After you have a thought, there is a feeling that comes as a result of that thought. When you've had that thought feeling pair happen, then the action comes next, or the inaction. And then what comes next is the result. It literally, we call this the action path sketch. We talk about the action path sketch in the very beginning skill, the very beginning touch points I have with people who come into a coaching relationship with me. The people who come into a coaching relationship with me do so through the Write a New Chapter challenge. And it's all about writing a new chapter in your life. And one of the powerhouse things, just one of the things, but one of the powerhouse things we talk about in that challenge that I teach you about is this very thing. It's called the action path sketch. But it's this concept that everything you do and don't do starts with a thought. It's the thought concept. Okay, that's number one. The number two thing, once you understand that concept and just give it some thought. Kind of silly to use the word thought, but if you really spend a moment and think about what I just shared with you, try to prove me wrong. Try to prove to me how the things you do and don't start with a thought or a decision first. They absolutely 100% do. And the cool thing is that when you actually embrace that and say, wow, that is true, then it feels like the world is at your fingertips because I can really impact the results, my senses, what I'm actually experiencing. You mean to tell me I can impact that by what I think? Yes, 100%. That's what gets me so fired up because yes, absolutely 100%. You can affect the reality that you have every day by being aware of this thought concept. That's number one. Number two, once you understand that thought concept and embrace it as truth, the next thing you have to have is thought awareness. This is when you need to start becoming aware of your thoughts. This is when I can't tell you your thoughts, right? I can't diagnose the thoughts you're having. You are the only one who can do that. But in order to change the results, to change the circumstances, to change the realities that you're having every day, you have to start uncovering these thoughts that are actually a big contributing factor to being the driver of the ship, the driver of the car. We talk about being in the driver's seat all the time. One of my greatest passions, the way I explain what I do for women, is I help women get out of the back seat of everyday life, where life is happening to you, and give you tools to help you climb into the driver's seat, where you have a lot more control over where you end up, where you have a lot more control over your realities, your circumstances, the things you're experiencing every day. But you have to start becoming aware of your thoughts. What are they? You have to start assessing that for yourself in order to change what comes at the end of that action path sketch, the realities, the experiences. You have to start uncovering all of those pieces. And it starts with you learning how to become aware of your thoughts, even the ones that aren't pretty. But those are usually the ones we want to change anyway. And a lot of times, those are the ones that we wallow in, right? The thoughts that beat ourselves up, the thoughts that help us feel bad about ourselves, the thoughts that tell us things like we're lazy, or there's something wrong with us, or that will never work for you. All these disappointing things we tell ourselves all the time. Those are thoughts you're having. No one is telling you those things. And if people are telling you those things and you internalize them and accept them, well, that's you allowing other people to control your thoughts. So you're still the driver of this ship there too. Thought awareness. You've got to have that thought awareness. And then you need to start working with number 3 step in controlling, really kind of changing your life, is really starting to put this action path sketch that I told you into practice. When you start uncovering your thoughts, then what you ask yourself is, what are the feelings that are happening as a result of these thoughts? Because when we have unhealthy thoughts, they're going to produce unhealthy feelings as well. How easy is it for you, would you guess? How easy is it for you to take healthy, worthwhile, productive action steps when you're having negative thoughts and negative feelings? Well, you can see how those things don't align. If you've been struggling with not doing the things you actually want to do, it's not because you're doing those things wrong. It's because things are wrong first at the thought level. And that's where we need to go and change things. It's not with doing or not doing the actual stuff, but that's what we always do. I call that treating the symptoms rather than diagnosing the actual problem. And going down to the thought level and having that thought awareness, uncovering what your thoughts are, well, that's diagnosing the problem. Something is broken and not functioning well on the thought level if you're not taking the actions that you actually want to take. It's not about trying to do those things harder. It's not about trying harder. It's not about trying to bully yourself into something or guilt yourself into doing things. Sure, those might be temporary fixes, but it's not. When you're treating the symptoms and you haven't diagnosed the problem, you're not going to be taking the best actions that are going to help you get the results, the circumstances, the experiences you actually want. So it's becoming good at this action path sketch where you uncover the thoughts and then you say, what feelings am I having as a result? And then you say, all right, so with those thoughts and feelings in mind, what am I doing? Or what am I not doing? And then what are the results that are happening because of what I am or am not doing? You trace this action path sketch through all 4 of these touch points, and you start to gain an understanding to not only why your circumstances are what they are. Now, can we control everything about our circumstances? Absolutely not. I am not here to say that this is going to make all the hard things, all the bad things, all the challenges, all the troubles go away in your life. Man, I wish I could fix all of those for you and me, but I can't. But there is almost always going to be something that you can control in every single situation, even if it's only the thoughts that are in your mind about it, and therefore the feelings that come as a result. That is something that you can 99.9% of the time control. And the only reason I don't say 100% is because I very rarely speak in absolutes. Absolutes get us in trouble. There's always an element of gray. But it's becoming practiced with that action path sketch, those 4 touch points. And again, you can learn about that in my Write a New Chapter challenge. I'm sure at some point I'll share information. But right now, I'm not taking anyone through that challenge right now. But it's such a powerhouse challenge. I cannot wait to share that with you more. So stay tuned for that. All right, so step number 3 is this action path sketch and becoming aware of it and working with it. Step 4 is to then choose your thoughts. Let's call this thought choice. Once you see where your current thoughts are getting you, right? You've gone through the action path sketch. You said, these are my thoughts. These are the feelings that are happening as a result. These are the actions that I am and I'm not taking as a result of those thoughts and feelings. And this is where it's getting me. And I don't like where it's getting me. This is where I say, if you're not happy with where you're at, if you're not happy with what your life looks like every single day, let's change that. And this is why we're talking about how to change your life, right? But if you're not experiencing certain things in your life, if certain things in your life are not the reality, if you're not experiencing the reality that you actually want, well, then you need to fix the thought. That's where it comes down to thought choice. So if you're thinking about a particular situation, a particular experience, a particular result, a particular reality in your life, and you don't like it, what thoughts do you need to choose instead of the ones you're having? You've unpacked how you've gotten here. Well, now, how are you going to change things at the root level, thought level, to end up someplace different? What thoughts are going to serve you better? Thought choice. If you think those thoughts instead, what are the feelings going to be? Better, right? If you're choosing better, healthy thoughts, you're going to have better, healthy feelings. And then you're going to take better, healthy actions or inactions. And imagine that the results are going to be ones that bring you closer to where you actually want to be. And it all comes down to thought choice. That's step 4. And what comes next is thought practice. And this is the part everybody always wants to skip over. Because you can see how what we've talked about so far, these first 4 steps, remember how I said there's no magic wand? It might feel a little bit like with these first 4 steps, it might feel a little bit like a magic wand. I get that. It kind of is. But in order for you to actually change your life, it comes down to practice. And as with many, many things, we're never going to be done practicing. You are never going to become, and it's not just you, it's me. I am never going to be an expert at thought work. I'm always going to have to take that control of my thoughts because my brain is wired to keep me safe, happy, and comfortable. And as a result, it's going to often choose thoughts that really don't benefit me. Maybe in the moment, but a lot of times my brain is going to serve me thoughts that are not the best ones for me to have. And that is as long as I live on planet Earth, that is going to be how my brain operates, as is yours. And that's where thought practice comes into play. Now, here's the cool thing about thought practice. And basically what thought practice means, before I get to the cool thing, let me say this. Basically what thought practice means is that you're going to continue with steps 1 through 4 all the time. When you experience a reality, situations, circumstances, things that are not what you want them to be, and this works, by the way, this works so well when you are in a situation where you feel out of control. Life has just served you a major curveball, a major challenge, a major blow, a major disappointment. And it is so easy to feel completely overwhelmed, drowned by that circumstance, by that situation, by that thing that we don't want, that we would never choose, and that no one should have to have as part of their life. When life serves you one of those, this skill is going to help you move out from underneath feeling like you're drowning. Haul these skills out, especially in that situation. But thought practice means, again, anytime you find yourself experiencing, feeling, thinking something that isn't what you want, well, go back to this. Go back to thought awareness. What are the thoughts I'm having? And then build it all out in the 4 steps of that action path sketch. And when you discover, here's how I got here. Well, I don't want to be here. Where is it I want to be? And what are the thoughts that will set things into motion that will bring me to where I actually want to be? You get to choose. Now, again, we don't get to eliminate things in life. Those challenges, there's no magic wand to make those go away. But how you perceive challenges, how you perceive these devastating blows, well, that is something you can have an effect on using these skills. But thought practice. Here's the cool thing about thought practice. I said I would get there, and I'm getting there now. Here's the cool thing about thought practice is you actually get better at it. The more you become aware of these skills, right? Starting from the very beginning with the whole thought concept that, you know what? I am not powerless in this situation. I am responsible for at least a little bit of what my experience, my reality, my circumstances right now. And I don't like it. That's okay, because I'm going to be able to use these tools to manipulate even just a small part of this situation, a small part of my current reality. Again, even if all that is my mindset, my thought, my feelings about it. But it does get easier. The more and more you use these skills, the more automatic you start working from unhealthy thoughts, ones that hurt you, ones that keep you limited, ones that make you think I can't, ones that hold you back, ones that defeat you, ones that make you feel hopeless, ones that make you want to just give up. The more you're used to identifying that when those are your thoughts, and you learn and you become more practiced at moving forward from them, man, you start to change your everyday reality without even realizing it. Some of these, the art of putting these skills into practice becomes a little bit more autopilot. And it's amazing when it does. Let me give you an example. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day. She was asking me how something was going that I'm working on, this huge project that I have happening. And many, many, many things are going way more wrong than I ever could have seen coming. It's one of those situations where there's many, many touch points where when these things happen, it leaves you saying, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? And so she was asking how it was going, and I was telling her, well, actually, horrible. This is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening. And she said to me, you don't seem at all bothered or upset. Like, I would be coming unglued. You're like so calm about it. You don't even seem upset. And I realized it's all of this thought practice. I am not that upset about it. I'm really not upset about it at all. Because I'm very in control of my thoughts about it. I have maintained control of my thoughts, and therefore, how I perceive, this is important, come back to me if you're multitasking. How I perceive the circumstances that are happening. There are many of these circumstances that I cannot change right now. But it's all about how I perceive them. It is not through the lens of hopelessness. It is not through the lens of despair. It is not through the lens of, oh my gosh, all things are lost. This, I am never going to recover from this. It is not through that lens at all. I do not have those types of thoughts because I have learned that while those thoughts are often pretty automatic for us as humans, I've learned and I'm practiced at moving forward from them and not letting those be the thoughts I entertain in my mind about this situation or many others. Thought practice, you get better at it. And then you start having a different reality in a more ongoing, regular way. And this is how to change your life. It's not about those circumstances, trying to change those circumstances that we can't change. Again, I say, I wish I had a way to change those things for you. I wish I had a way to change those things for me. But what I can help you change is how you perceive it, just like I am experiencing and living proof of right now. I knew what she said was true because I don't feel all up in arms about this. I don't feel devastated about this. I'm not losing sleep over it. But you know what? Before I had these tools 5 years ago, I've been working with these tools for close to 5 years now. I would have been absolutely devastatingly paralyzed and full of despair. I'm not. And the same can happen for you when you become skilled at thought practice. When you continue practicing, when you work through these 4 steps and then practice as step number 5, practice and practice and practice. And do these, work with these things. Anytime you experience something you don't like, something that's not serving you, when you start having thoughts that you don't want to have, when your mood is affected, when you find yourself in that funk, when you find yourself feeling like you're in despair, and what are we going to do? You have tools. You can change your life with them. Use them to change your life. So there you have it, the keys to the kingdom right here. These are concepts that I work with people. I work with these tools with people every single day. And now you can have them as well. The reality is you do not have to accept things. You do not have to accept your life as is. You can, just like me, you can control a lot more about your life than anyone wants you to believe or realize, except for me. I want you to believe and realize. And that's why I have given you these tools today. How to change your life. You don't like what you're experiencing? Let's get in there and let's practice thoughts that will take us to a different perception of reality than what we're currently experiencing. That will change your life, my friend. Thanks so much for joining. All right. So I did get a little bit worked up. I did not get as well. Let me say this: if you could visually see me, you would have seen that I was probably a little bit more worked up than you realized. I get so passionate about this because feel like we have to accept things as is. We feel like we have no control over things that feel out of control. What we talked about today, this thought awareness, working through this action path sketch and getting more and more practice at it, that is something you can control. And I am so excited to have shared that with you. So, in our next episode, it's Friday. And you know what Friday is here on the Intentional Mom Podcast? It is our Ask the Life Coach Day. Tomorrow, I will be coming up with an episode for you with a question I had submitted via Instagram this time. So, be sure to join us for that. We'll talk again soon.